condemn you back to hell!
You ready for this? Never.
What is going on, guys and gals, and welcome to Good Real Hunting. We're in for the good real, so you don't have to. It's your boy Brad, the Bretman's over there, and welcome back to Slash It Out Live, where we take two of our favorite horror movies and we pin those sons of bitches together and we figure out which is the premiere of the two. Bretman, tonight we got an awesome matchup. You want to tell the people about it a little bit?
Oh man, this is actually your pick from the Slash It Out wheel, man. We got The Strangers going to go 1-on-1 against Vacancy, which is just the battle between isolation horror and even like a little home invasion horror, man. It's going to be a great battle. So do not be a strangers or do not be a stranger. We got plenty of vacancies in this fight.
Oh, you've been thinking about that all week.
I actually posted that. I thought that about like 3.5 hours ago when I was promoting the show today. But and I've already gotten comments already that says like, Brad, don't ever do puns again.
Well, yeah, well, they can say it all they want, but we know it's not going to happen. Gory's in the house. What's up, my friend? Welcome to the party.
What's going up, Gory Tiger? But yeah, man, when you suggested this matchup and we put it on the wheel, I was so excited. I actually really wanted this matchup to be like to land. And luckily, when we did the Slash It Out like a couple of weeks ago and this landed, oh man, I texted you immediately saying, dude, this is going to be a badass matchup.
Oh yeah, I'm super stoked about it. It's going to be a lot of fun. And that reminds me, we're actually going to we're going to be doing a spin wheel at the end of this episode. So that's really,
I forgot to have you add one on there. So
I know, I did forget.
17 versus 8. No, that's my fault. I'm supposed to be the king of reminders, like you told me right before we let live. Instead of trash, I told you to remind you about trash versus putting your next movie suggestion on the wheel. So I messed up.
You know what? Before we get rolling here in a minute, and once we get to a point where I can get a second to get a poll together, I'll put a few options out there. I'll let the people pick what I add in there. We'll just add it right here, right now, live on the spot. And, we'll make it happen. So last week, or I guess was it last week we did X and Texas Chainsaw Massacre. There was a poll. We did a poll. Do you know which one of those movies won yet? Do we know?
I don't want to talk about it because my feelings sort of got hurt about that.
What happened?
Texas Chainsaw Massacre absolutely whooped the hell out of X. It wasn't even close. I think X got a total of like six or seven combined votes, while Texas Chainsaw Massacre had like 30 plus votes.
Oh, not even close, man. I did expect it to be a little bit closer.
Even close. So, like, my heart is broken. But again, I understand why. Texas Chainsaw Massacre is such a classic movie. You just can't beat a good old classic.
Yeah, Texas Chainsaw is a classic. So, I mean, it's really that says a lot, you know, that it's going up against something new. I'm not really surprised, but I did think it'd be a little bit closer. We got Adrian in the house here too as well.
Ooh, Adrian, what's going on, my friend? And who's this son of a bitch right here? The next one.
This SOB right here, this crazy SOB. Pun DMC at it again.
You know it.
Yeah, that's our pal Chris, man. He couldn't be here tonight, but he is here in spirit and in the chat. So we are thankful, and hopefully one of his weird ass matchups doesn't get selected on the wheel.
So we could get his ass back on here. Like, no, Chris, we totally understand, man. Work comes first, and we all understand. So we're still going to put on a hell of a show, and we're just your spirits here, my friend. And there's one of our teammates for our horror trivia night like this month, Capital Kooky, aka Gabe from Flopbuster.
Hello, welcome.
He said, "I give myself a stranger every night." Oh my god, keep it PG on this show, Capital Kooky. Like, we're trying to get the kid audiences. Who the fuck I'm kidding? And we'll never get a kid audience member unless if his name is Jackson. So
it could happen, yeah. Yeah, that's a possibility for sure.
Oh, dude, absolutely. But man, are you ready to go over this tail of the tape?
Yes.
All right. Let me get there. Oh, and this tail of the tape is sponsored by the Hella Screen Review Series. What this is This is going to be a Halloween franchise review series that we're doing with a bunch of our YouTubing friends. Bacon Pew Pew, Ken Blood Media, that is Josh. Mega Movie C's, that's the Wolfman Michael. Braden Timmons, Matt Fauci, Caleb from the Dark Ether Files podcast, and brand new YouTuber to our little community group of Jeff Man 316, pop culture reporter.
Hello. I didn't mean to say hello to him because he's not actually here, but welcome, Jeff Man. We're excited. We're excited to have him joining us for this.
Yeah, absolutely. And we're also trying to use the hashtag Hallow Scream. That is without the W in Hallow. So it's just HALOO Scream. Use that hashtag so we can get this series out there so we can make it the best that it could possibly be. So that is our sponsor of this Tale of the Tape. So let's get to it. So, Brad, anything that just strikes you of interesting with these Tale of the Tape?
Yeah, I am baffled by. Okay, first off, the scores for these: The Strangers got a 48, Vacancy's got a 55, Audience is 48 and 42, respectively, between the two of them. I am absolutely baffled by the scores for really both of these movies, but specifically like Vacancy, I think is really good. I think there's really not a lot of problems I have with that movie. It's a little cookie cutter, sure, but I think it does a really good job with these two characters, and they're very interesting, and it's a fun ride. It's an hour and freaking 20 minutes, and it just goes by in a jiff, man. It's awesome. Strangers, really the same thing that can be said. I'm baffled by these scores as well. I thought this movie was pretty, revolutionary for when it came out. It was very fresh and scary. Actually, this was one of the first movies in a while that scared me the first time I watched it. So yeah, I'm surprised by these.
Oh, dude, I'm very surprised too. And you know what? Don't be surprised if we do freaking rotten reactions for both of these movies in the future, because totally disagree with the Rotten Tomatoes scores for both movies. They should be a lot higher. One of them more higher than the other one, but I will go into detail on which movie that is. And the one that really just blows my mind is Vacancy, $19 million budget, but a $19 million earning for the U.S., while The Strangers, $9 million budget, earned $53 million from the U.S. box office. So you can obviously tell right then and there what the audience thought was the more intriguing movie to get their butts in the seats at the theater.
Yeah, for sure. And you know what, though, at the same time, Vacancy, it must have made some stacks elsewhere, because it did have a sequel, and the sequel I remember actually wasn't horrible. I only saw it once. I don't really remember it, but I remember when I did watch it, I was like, this isn't actually that bad for like a straight to DVD sequel or whatever. But yeah, I'm baffled by that. And both of them had really good cast too. Liv Tyler, Kate Beckinsale, Luke Wilson, Vacancy. Yeah, very impressive, I thought.
Oh, and you know who? You remember good old Scott Speedman? You freaking know him, right?
I know him from The Strangers. He looked familiar, but I'm not good with placing people and shit. What else is he from?
He was just recently in freaking Crimes of the Future. He was the freaking dad of that 8-year-old kid.
Oh, that SOB was in that movie. God, I can't. Yeah, that's what time does, I guess.
Oh yeah, time flies when you're freaking having fun. Yeah. So anything else you see on the freaking Tale of the Tape here?
No, that's it.
All right. Sorry, I'm trying to fix a light issue real quick. I think we're good now. So, here I am. So, Brad, before we begin this I think we have a new person here. So let's say hi to them real quick. Hazel McGee, what's going on, my friend? And welcome to Good Will Hunting and tonight's episode of Slash It Out. Any movie with Kate deserves a higher score. You know what? That is easily fair to say, because she is a beautiful woman. Especially
she was in the Resident Evil movies too, yeah.
Underworld.
Or no, Underworld. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, and that very tight. Oh my gosh.
Oh, I see the sack behind you.
It's I'll keep on saying Tasa or Trisha, but it's freaking Tamara. It's Tamara home. No, she's not home, that crazy bitch. But Hazel, welcome, and we hope we can entertain you within this hour. So
yes, welcome.
And they're speaking. See, he heard your call, Brad. Jeff Man 316. What's going on, Jeff? I agree. Kate Beckinsale takes Vacancy up a notch. And you know what? She absolutely does. But don't leave out Mr. Luke Wilson. He did a good job in this movie, and I'll defend him a little bit tonight.
Let's not forget about that creepy asshole behind the counter too, man. That guy was good, but we'll get into all that.
Oh
But yeah,
yeah,
welcome, Jeff.
freaking Mason. And I got the strangers pulled up on my letterbox if we have any questions on that. So Brad, if you would take care of the fantasy side of things. If we have any questions.
I got a question, Brett, man. How do we put a damn poll into this thing? Let's put a couple matchups up for the people to vote on to go on as my pick for the spin wheel for the end of this
but
thing.
I already have a poll already.
Oh, you got
man.
one. Oh, okay.
Oh my god, the freaking light. I swear I didn't even touch the thing. Gory Tiger's right. It's an alien abduction, so I'm screwed.
Yeah, Brett Man's about to get out of here, man.
But anyways, we got freaking 71% going with the strangers. I have 7 votes right now. So we are going to end this poll early, and we will tell you at the end of this stream how you can make your official vote on this Slash It Out. So let me get some suggestions for Brad. And while after we do that, Brad's going to explain how our new format will work that we tested out last week, and we both love it. And then we'll freaking get started. So, Brad, what are some movie suggestions or matchup suggestions?
Let's do It versus It, the remake versus the new one. Let's do
It versus It.
Yeah.
So that's 2000.
I'm sorry, the remake versus the original one. Yeah, I'm sorry.
Yeah. No, you're good. So 2017. And guys, just ignore my light. I'm about just to freaking just toss it.
Yeah, you need to. Let's do a big one here. Let's do you already have The Shining versus
Dr.
Sleep in there.
Absolutely.
Let's do Cabin Fever versus Cabin in the Woods, maybe?
Okay.
Yeah, that'll be a fun one. Cabin Fever versus Cabin in the Woods. And let's do Bacon a favor. No, let's not do that. Let's do
definitely not, especially we're having a bacon debacle right now between our friendship.
Oh, don't say that. Let's do
go with your gut. Go with your gut. Go with your gut. Don't think.
Let's do Nightmare on Elm Street versus Scream.
I already have a feeling which one's going to get added to the wheel after that. So
you never know.
So ask our community if my mouse will let me hit it. And ATGNAT, what's going on, man? Yeah. See, I'm telling you, you could say that. I'm spelling it out. He says Cabin Fever versus the Cabin Fever versus the Cabin Fever remake.
Oh no, not that, dude. No, that remake. I made it like 5 minutes of that thing, and it freaking blew out. Not in a good way either.
All right, the poll is up, so we will check that poll when we're ready to do our spinner. And see here. And Gory Tiger says it's kind of creepy because all you can see is the reflection of your glasses. So you know
you
what?
Look like the Riddler in the Batman.
What is dark and what is also burnt? No, I'm just kidding. I can't freaking riddle for crap. I can pun.
If you are justice. All right. So what we're doing tonight is we're going to take these movies, Vacancy, The Strange. We're going to put them together. We got a few different categories. We're going to do what both movies do well, what both movies don't do well, what the Vacancy does better than The Strangers, and what The Strangers does better than the Vacancy. And then we're going to give our final thoughts, some scores, and our preference at the end. And we're going to leave the ultimate poll up to you guys on the socials.
And absolutely. And just go ahead and throwing this out there as well. I know we talked about the Texas Chainsaw and the X results. Those have been our best numbers when it comes to the poll. It's shattered records with the amount of votes, what movie gets the vote the most on. So we are so ecstatic that y'all get that involved into our Slash It Outs after the show. And we really appreciate that. Let's freaking continue the momentum, man.
Let's freaking do it, man. Let's get to talking about these things.
All right, let me hit the button here. Here we go. What both movies do well. So, Brad, what did The Strangers and Vacancy, what both of those movies did well? And just to let you all know, too, the reason we're doing these title cards, because if you saw the last one, we're starting to add chapters into these streams, so you could watch them through our categories. So if you don't like our intro, you can freaking just hop right on into it. So Brad, what did both movies do well?
Well, first off, I like the way both of these movies set up the characters. Both of these movies feature two couples that are going through a hard time. Vacancy is a married couple about to get divorced. Strangers is a couple that, you know, dude proposes, she throws him to deny. So it both starts off, you know, with, you know, shit hitting the fan, I guess, within the relationship. And I
wait for it, denied. Sorry, you just remind me of that when you just said denied.
It happened that way, man. So I like that. It creates intrigue to the characters. It creates conflict. It sets up character arcs in both movies where they have to kind of bond together and work with one another throughout. And Vacancy, I think I would give the slight nod to the way the Vacancy does it here, just because it's a little bit more fun, I guess, to seeing these guys bicker at the beginning of the movie, because they get pretty brutal with one another early in the movie. He said, what did he say? He said, I just wanted to see how mad you would get, or I can't remember, but or I wanted to see how much of a bitch you'd be about it. Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, we must be dead. Look, to get that stare.
Yeah. So it was kind of fun in a way, but it was also like, man, these guys are on Vacancy. It's like, man, this road trip already looks pretty miserable before shit hits the fan, and shit really did hit their fan, and that's what caused the whole issue. But they ran over a squirrel. It was a raccoon. All that stuff was good.
It was Rocket Man from Guardians of the Galaxy.
But I enjoyed that because, like I said, in both movies, though, it's a little bit more awkward and subtle in The Strangers. It's just a lot of silence and like what's going on, and it kind of plays a flashback, and you know, it takes a little bit longer to figure out exactly what's going on between them. But in The Strangers, you can tell they still kind of like each other. They're just in a weird spot. But either way, as the movie goes on, as they start getting these challenges in front of them, you know, they start to kind of bond again and kind of freshen up their relationship, you could say. So I think that's cool. It creates some good arcs. It kind of makes you care for the characters a little bit more because it at least gives them something. It gives them some traits and whatnot. And I think, you know, both of them can be pretty relatable too for people, both of these situations. So I dug that quite a bit.
Yeah, absolutely agree with you. And it also helps too when you have like two beautiful women in this movie too, of Liv Tyler and Kate Beckinsale, which the audiences love both of those actresses. So it easily enhances your movie on both, even though the guys do a great job as well with Scott Speedman and Luke Wilson. And
Luke Wilson is a sexy SOB too. Let's not forget about that.
Wow. Wow. But just gotta get this shout out real quick to Desi. What's going on, Desi? I appreciate you hopping on our stream just for a little bit in the chat, because I know you guys show for Fear Freaks at 8 o'clock. So we appreciate you hanging out with us just for a little bit.
Absolutely. Thanks for jumping in.
Yeah, they're going to be talking about freaking Stranger Things, man. So woo. Hey, again, don't be a stranger now on this stream. So my first one, I'm gonna go ahead and just tackle the freaking big fish of what both movies do well, and that is just setting the tone and atmosphere. Holy crap. There's just not like really a second to breathe. There's almost, in a way, there's no second to breathe with either of these movies, just because they do such a great job creating this atmosphere, which you don't know what's out there, but you know it's not good. And then you get like your little knocking sounds and all that. Even with both movies, with just the knocking sounds, just really just creeps you the hell out, and you don't even know what it is. And as the movie progresses, you kind of know, but it's still scary, man. And that is all due just the tone and atmosphere that both of these movies set up for these characters, like you said, that we enjoy and we want to root for.
Yeah, dude, the tension building in both of these is really good. I think they both go about it, you know, somewhat different ways, but a lot of the same ways too. You're sitting there, you're in a desolate hotel in the middle of nowhere. You have no idea where you're at. You're lost from the town that you're 20 miles back that way, Dumb and Dumber style. You don't know where you're at. You find this hotel. It's late. You know, it's what, I can't remember what time. It was probably at least midnight in Vacancy when they get there.
Midnight.
And they get ruled in.
Midnight.
And there's tonight, midnight. There's nobody else there in this hotel. And then you just get these knocks on the door. And it's, I mean, that's creepy. Like, and then all the other shit hits the fan. Like you start they realize that they start playing the tapes in there, and that come with the room, and they see these snuff films, and those were very violent and very
Oh
freaking
god.
vicious, and they were spooky, man. And as soon as they make the realization that these films are taking place in their room, it's terrifying, dude. That was actually scary. That was a scary part of the movie. And I like that quite a bit. They know they're getting watched at that point, sets that tension up. Meanwhile, the strangers, kind of the same setup. You're out in a desolate neighborhood. There's nobody around. You're in freaking, this quiet neighborhood. It's apparently 4 a.m. there. Just freaking been partying all night, having a good time. You're kind of winding down, but not really. And the freaking knock at the door, 4 a.m. You open the door, Tamara's not home, and she asked, that's scary shit. And it just goes from there. It builds from there, man.
Oh, dude, absolutely. And Desi says it best. Who knew a knock would be so scary? That's like the sound effect, and that is actually a good little segue to the next point. It's the score and the score and the sound like effects in this movie are absolutely terrific too. Because again, they build on that. Oh man, they build on that tone and atmosphere too, as well. And like Desi said in her comment right there, just a simple knock on the door freaking makes you jump, man. It like, especially the strangers, those knocks, like just a simple knock, just freaking just jumps me out of my skin. If I just to grab like my ether and pull them right back into my soul, so it don't go into the further, and and just all crazy kind of shit. But like, yeah, I gotta give a shout out to the score and the sound design in this movie.
The farther's not a bad place to be if you want to smile. But no, I agree. The sound's good. And going back to some of that tension, like I just think both of them, like, they give you, and I'll talk a little bit more about this when we get to the vacancy part, for a couple of things. But just, a couple of things that are super kind of tense is, whenever the truck driver shows up and they go to make that phone call at 911, the cop shows up, a lot of stuff happens that's just like, oh, you don't know what's going to happen. You don't know who to trust at this point. This playing so many games with you at this point. You don't know which direction to go in that movie. I thought that was really cool. And additionally, in The Strangers, there's a lot of good moments. Like, remember when Mike is walking down the hallway, gets his head blown off? That sequence leading up to that, though, where he's walking down the hallway, that was good. There was music, creepy ass music playing on the record player when they walk in. We know they're hiding in a closet with a gun. We know the freaking sackhead's behind Mike as he's walking down. Mike's their buddy that comes to help him out. Well, he doesn't really come to help him because he doesn't know what's going on.
He's come to help the husband, or not the husband, but the guy,
the wannabe husband.
Yeah, the wannabe husband, and like he didn't want to be there anymore, so he got freaking. He called Mike, say, "Hey, Mike, get your ass down from here." And then Mike could probably return the phone call because, like, hey, I'm all drunk up here, bitch. I can't drive, so let me sober up. And then after I sober up, I'll come down and get you. But what did he get instead for his good efforts? He'll never be a head person in a major corporation ever again.
You're damn straight he's not. Yeah, I mean, it does that. It's that constant build that I think is really good. Like, it starts off pretty subtle in Strangers when Liv Tyler's weren't running around the house. Like, dude goes out to get cigarettes. She's there alone. And then we're getting this like little subtle things with the camera. She doesn't even really notice it until later. But the cell phone's been moved, and the smoke detector gets moved. It gets picked up and put on the chair. And then we get that freaking payoff scene with Sackhead in the back. The sack in the back is how I'm going to refer to it. And yeah, that was good. That's one of the best scenes in horror, I think. The first time I saw this movie, that scared the shit out of me, that scene, because there's no music. It's very reminiscent of Halloween, like with Michael in the background, minus the music cues that you get. He's just back there watching and stalking, man. And yeah, that shit was scary.
Oh, dude, absolutely. And shoot,
dude's in the house.
HEGNAT brings up a great point. If someone beats on the door at 4 a.m. here in old Mississippi, they're getting blasted, no questions asked. And you know what? Do not blame you, because that's something us Tennesseans will do, but instead we will do it at like 3 a.m.
Yeah, got that right. Yeah, man, freaking howdy toddy, man. But not really.
Oh yeah. But dude, sorry, just another segue again, because she brought up the freaking sackhead, even though it's the man in the mask. But you know what? Same damn thing. So I'm not gonna harp on it too much. But dude, I thought the villains in both of these movies were freaking excellent. Like the trios. I thought they were really damn solid. Like, first off, creepy as hell. Especially like in The Strangers with the lighting and all that. That's what helped create like their creepiness. But kind of like you alluded to earlier with Vacancy, what makes that trio scary is because you saw those two guys in that hotel room or that motel room just freaking all chaos hell breaking loose in that room. If and of course we get our main freaking character or our main villain, should I say, freaking just enjoying everything and freaking video everything like a freaking creep, man. So I thought both trios for both of these movies were well written, and you definitely cheered against them.
Absolutely. And yeah, that's another scene in Vacancy where she finds the apple in the bathroom,
Mm.
just to find out
Yeah,
that these
that
guys have been
freaked me
inside.
out.
Yeah, dude, just to find like these guys have been in here and you don't know how yet. This is when they're still trying to figure it out. Man, I just love it. But really another thing that I really like about both of these flicks is that they're both short. These movies are both less than like they're like an hour and 20 minutes, less than an hour and a half by far. And I think that's awesome. I wish there were more movies like this because they both get the job done in that a lot of time.
Yeah, I didn't want to freaking sneeze all over your freaking eardrums right there. But no,
Please don't.
exactly too. Yeah, both of these movies surprised me a little bit with how much the runtime is, and this is just an example. I wanted more.
Yeah.
Like I wanted more for both of these movies, and even though I got one little nitpick, it's more of a nitpick because trust me, guys, this was really hard to figure out like what both movies don't do well. So hopefully, Brad did a lot better for me on our next particular like topic. Unless if Brad, you have anything more else you want to talk about what both movies did
I
well.
think that's good. I got a few things in their individual categories, but I think that's good for
Oh
now.
yeah, I got stuff in the individual categories. I know you probably got more for me on Vacancy, but I think Strangers, I freaking got you beat on that one.
Absolutely. Acknat comes in saying the scene where Sackhead appears behind Liv, iconic scene. Yeah, dude, one of the scariest, especially
Yeah.
the first time. This is a movie like Saw that I used to watch. Make people watch for the first time all the time. I watched this movie probably a dozen times when it came out because I'd find somebody else and I'd be like, "Hey, come watch this with me," and then I'll just watch the reaction when the sack appears in the back. Man, because it is iconic.
Oh, dude, absolutely freaking Ludi. It's like you said, it's easily one of my favorite shots in horror. And hopefully we could actually do a freaking ranking someday of like ranking the best shots in horror movie history. Because honestly, that has to be a good argument for that one scene being even. I would say easily top 10, but should be an argument for top 5 even.
It's on the list, man. It's definitely on a list. Depending on how big the list is, I think it's definitely got a place on it.
Oh, dude, absolutely agree on that. So, are you ready to go into our next topic?
Yes.
All right. If my mouse would cooperate, which it never does. So,
Ever.
go away. Okay, there we go. Here we go. What both movies don't do well. So this is the category of what both movies don't do well. So Brad, I'm just gonna let you freaking start this because like I had a hard time figuring it out because I thought both movies really did some great stuff well, and there's hardly any negatives. Like there's some like I would say nitpicks, but did you find anything major?
Really, the biggest thing for both of these movies, I think, and again, it's nothing that really ruins the movies for me. It's just something that obviously is it's holding these things back a little bit. It's that both of them, they have plot holes throughout. The plots aren't really the tightest throughout, especially like Vacancy is like, you sit here and you think about this hotel and this, like, it's so in the middle of nowhere, but it's such an elaborate setup that it feels like you'd have to have so much traffic come through here just to have anything happen because it's like it's just like, how's anybody finding this place? How's this place even in business to begin with? All that stuff like that. It's a very elaborate setup with tunnels under the system. Like it's just, it's a lot to really accept as plausible to actually happen, which is fine. It doesn't bother me in the moment. I'm watching it. I have a good time with it. It's just when you think back, when you think about it and you're trying to find something negative to say, it's like, that's something you can do. It's like, okay, all these guys are in cahoots and they have this whole big thing going on and they're selling these tapes. It's just like, I don't know, this place seems so lost in the middle of nowhere that it seems hard. Also, a couple things in The Strangers, man. I'm not buying this thing starts at 4 a.m., man. They come home after the wedding. It's 4 a.m. and they're out here they're going out to buying cigarettes. They're drawing bats. They're setting freaking they're making fires and all this other stuff. Which only gives you like, depending on the season, like maybe 3 hours of sunlight, 3 hours for all this stuff to hit the fan, and it pretty much happens in real time. But I just don't like the and really that's nothing after you hear the time. It's not a big deal. It's a nitpick. But I'm not buying it. And I also don't know about the radio being in the barn, which is another thing. It's just random. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
how convenient.
Yeah, right. Yeah, exactly. But yeah, these are, I mean, none of this stuff is ruining the movie. It's just stuff I thought of.
Yeah, this is our like nitpicks, guys. Then Bud Nelson, what's going on with The Strangers? Period. So yeah, I know we knew what you meant, man. But yeah, The Strangers, that is an excellent choice. And be sure to vote in our poll tomorrow, man. And welcome to the freaking Slash It Out Good Real Hunting.
Yeah, and of course, anybody new joining, just a reminder, there is a poll rolling right now for you guys to select my pick for the spin it wheel that we will, or the slash it wheel that we're going to spin at the end of this episode. So
just to include onto the wheel. That's what we're trying to determine because Brad needs to replace one. And then Brad, the only real nitpick I had is this is just for me. I feel like probably maybe once for both movies where I thought the pacing was really slow. Like they really just like they drag it a little bit. Like I understand both of these movies are slow burns and they're both like hour 20 minutes. But I feel like there's just some scene, like just one scene in each movie where I felt like it lasted way too long than it actually needed to. And so that's my little nitpick that I found.
Okay, fair enough. My question is, like, maybe did I miss something at the beginning of the Vacancy? When the dude pulls up, he gives him a sparkler. He looks at their car to see if it's okay. And
which it was not okay.
Yeah, it wasn't. But he lets him drive off. Like, were they like I don't know. Were they going to let him go if the car kept going or what? Like, because he didn't. I don't think he broke anything.
No. The indicator was that he messed up the car even more on purpose, so they had nowhere to go.
Okay. But if they would have stayed in the car overnight, they would have been fine. In
theory,
like,
happily ever after. The end. Well, I wouldn't say happily ever after. They probably would have still gone through the divorce and all that. But I would feel like at the end of the movie, then they had their happily ever after. Nothing more than a freaking tragedy, a house or motel tragedy that fix relationship goals.
Oh yeah, for sure, dude. And I tell you, I would have left that son of a bitch about 2 minutes in after the water turned brown. But either way,
oh, dude, you and me both, man.
He gave that guy a tip and everything, and they still try to murk his ass.
I know, like what ungrateful prick, man. But that's it for me on what both movies don't do well.
I'm good with it. Yeah.
Okay, so we are going to move on to our next category. Brad, actually, let you decide. Do you want to do Strangers first or Vacancy first?
Well, just because of the way my notes are, let's do Vacancy first.
You know what? That's the order I had it in. So great answer. So Vacancy. What does Vacancy do better than The Strangers, or what does Vacancy do better? God, I need to word that better. That is my bad on that one. God, that was hard to read.
Vacancy. Well, your last point was a leadway for me, actually, because it was pacing. I thought the pacing. I actually thought. Yes, I do think Strangers is slow at times, especially after your first watch. Actually, I think on first watch, Strangers is really fantastic. I think it's really brilliant. But when you go back to rewatch it, it gets a little slower and slower every time. But I think with Vacancy, it's so rewatchable, and I think it's paced to perfection, man. It moves at a fast pace throughout. All the stuff at the beginning, I'm very engaged in the characters because of this little banter that they have. I'm engaged in their car breaking down and really all that stuff. I'm kind of into it because I'm trying to learn what's going on with their characters, but also like this plot's progressing at the same time. And then we meet the hotel manager, and he's a creepy mofo. And that whole encounter was good. They go in the hotel, everything's kind of nasty. And then shit pretty much hits the fan pretty quick beyond that. I mean, they're in there for a minute. You got a couple minutes of comfort, but that's just to give you that kind of, maybe things are going to be okay vibe for the characters. And then the door starts knocking, and then, hell breaks loose at that point. And I think the movie does a really good job at bringing you more character interactions than you get in Strangers. So you have more characters in it. The manager, you have the mechanic, you have the truck driver that pulls up, you have the cop that comes later in the movie. all these different kind of plot setups that happen throughout. You're changing locations a few times. You go from the hotel room to the mechanic, the garage, to the lobby of the hotel. All these different kind of settings and stuff to kind of keep things fresh. You have the tunnels underneath the hotel that the bad guys are using to kind of get around and go into the different rooms and stuff. So because you have all that going on, I think it's paced really well. I think I never get bored with this movie at all. It chips away pretty quick, and before no time it's over essentially.
Yeah, and that's kind of like a to me that's a little complaint just because again I was enjoying what I was watching. I wanted more. So like why can like I wanted like 10 or like an extra 10 or 15 minutes just because I was so invested. And you're
Yeah.
right, for the most part it was very paced well. It was just like one scene in particular where it just slowed down way too much in my opinion for just the tempo that it was going. So that was my little issue with it. But again, just a minor nitpick.
Yeah, and Gory brings up false security. Yeah,
Mhm.
that's what this movie's full of. It's got it a lot where you feel again the truck driver pulls up and you're like, oh, they're gonna get some help. Nope, he's a part of it. He's having a good time. Oh, they made it to the phone booth. They're gonna get some cops out here. Nope, that just rings to the front desk and he's fucking with them. And then they finally get to the through the tunnels and stuff, and they make it back, but they get busted and they have to go back, and then like all that stuff. And then the cop does show up and he gets murked, and that's another plot point because. Well, that's beside the point. The cop gets murked, but nobody else comes out to check on him at any point. But either way,
Yeah, I know. Like, where was his partner?
I know. But yeah, I mean, all that stuff going on was really good, I thought.
No, dude, absolutely. I agree with you on that. And one of the notes I had on here was that that's kind of like a little thing I'm going to talk about with both villains because, but again, both of the trios did a great job in this movie, as I talked about in the what both movies do well category. But I have like particular of why each one did well. With Vacancy, they were more entertaining because
Right.
they oh man, what's his name? Was it Mason? I'm pretty sure it was Mason. That was his name. The guy that runs the
Yeah, I can look
desk.
it up for you. Yeah,
Yeah, look it up real quick because I'm pretty sure it's Mason. But
I
anyways,
think you're right.
Frank Whaley is who plays him, and dude, his charisma in this movie like was off the charts
Yeah,
because
Mason's
like
right.
he was, yeah, hell yeah. And then so Mason, dude, his chemistry off the charts, and you could tell Frank Whaley was having such a good time playing this particular character while also being freaking creepy. But you can't also like just ignore the fact that you were really entertained by this guy with what he was doing, even though what he was doing was so damn disturbing. And then plus, I feel like these guys, this trio was a little bit more active than the strangers were, as they take things like in a slower pace and just slowly torturing them. While these guys, like once shit hits the fan, their rage just to go full front on torturing these guys and messing with them like full speed ahead. So that's why Vacancy, I give the entertainment value to the villains.
Dude, that one guy was sprinting like a mofo out in the parking lot when he thought they were going to make it out the first time,
Oh
and he comes
yeah.
sprinting up.
I thought he was going
He's
to
like,
catch him, man. I'm like, damn, he's like freaking like going as fast as Forrest Gump was.
that was cool. That was a good sequence, and that was just another time you thought they were going to get away, and these guys just come out of nowhere and just kind of pin them in the parking lot. And really, a lot of that same stuff happens in The Strangers too. To be fair, I think it might be I had it saved for later, but The Strangers has that moment when they go out in the car to get away, and then the dude in the truck pulls up and just rams them in the back, busts the car
Yeah,
up.
actually, that was Pinup Girl because I
Yeah,
thought
that's
it
right.
was the Man in the Mask. And then
He's
on
in the
this last
second one. Yeah.
rewatch, yeah, it was the second one where he freaking drives that freaking Bronco truck. Which, by
Yeah.
the way, I love that truck more than anything. Like if I was like an ultimate horror movie collector and I had all this money in the world, I would easily be buying me a Bronco truck
Yeah, Broncos are cool, man.
and have like all the cast freaking sign the car for both of the Strangers movies. I'd be that person.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, that'd be a lot of fun. But yeah, dude, I thought that was good.
And
Let's
then
see.
I'm going to try my best. Atnact. Did I get that?
Yeah,
Yeah, okay. So I might start saying Act Next. So here we go. Act Next says Strangers far and away the better film, but both movies are fun watches. And you know what? You're absolutely right. Both of these movies are very fun watches. So absolutely agree with you on that. And speaking of freaking, I knew I smelled bacon. What's going on,
Bacon.
Canadian? No, this is Canadian bacon pew pew
Well,
because
I was going to tell Bacon that Brett was throwing some shade at him earlier in the show, and I was trying to do you a solid, man, on the wheel, and Brett told me not to. He said that there was spoiled. What did you say a second ago? It was
we have a bacon dispute. He thinks American bacon is better than Canadian bacon.
American bacon is better than
I
Canadian
told him
bacon.
you would freaking say that. You were supposed to have my back, but I see where your
You like
allegiance
Canadian
lies.
bacon better than American bacon?
I
What's wrong
love
with you?
Canadian bacon. Like because it's pretty much ham, and I love ham. Bacon quit with the long hashtags. They will not go anywhere with you. Hashtag bacon forever. Canadian bacon sucks.
Get this man out of here! I can't get over this. What's up with this?
Ooh.
You don't like real bacon as much?
No, I do like real bacon, but there's a story behind that. I'll tell you off air too, just in case if anybody's listening, in particular. But no, bacon. We actually did Saw versus the Collector. So go to our Slash It Out playlist. We had Chris Snyder as our special guest moderator on for that episode, and we freaking just toured both of those movies. Like we talked really highly on both movies.
Yeah, and again, that we may end up redoing some of those first ones with the new
Yes.
format eventually. But yeah, for now, check that one out. It was a lot of fun. It was a good episode.
Absolutely agree with you there. And then Brad, the last I'll take the last one for me for what Vacancy does better. The male lead I liked a lot better than the strangers. Luke Wilson's character. I
That's a good
thought
point.
he was a lot better than Scott Speedman, even though I felt like Speedman didn't have too much to do. The only thing he had to do was to shoot that shot on his boy Mark. Other than that, he really didn't have much. It was pretty much the Liv Tyler and the villain show. But in this one, Kate Beckinsale had a good amount to do, but so did Luke Wilson, man. And I was really invested into his character as well. And you could tell he was having a good time with his character and just a little like freaking heated conversations between him and Kate.
Yeah, I really liked him in this movie, and really, that kind of goes to as far as characters go. That's in my opinion. In Vacancy, this is my next point: is that I think the characters are smarter. I think they're, they do a lot of things right. They don't make a lot of horrible decisions in the movie. They make a couple that are questionable, like not leaving the motel earlier than they than they tried. I would have left as soon as that water turned brown. There was freaking cockroaches in there. I would have been like, no, I'm going to go sleep in the car. Get out of here. But they stayed. Yeah, but I think overall, like Luke Wilson's character, he's over there like Kate Beckinsale falls asleep in the corner because of her drugs. And Luke's over here. He's watching film, like he's freaking the Dallas Cowboys over here. He's over here like just studying up what's going on. He's like, I'm trying to look for mistakes. He's got all the cameras covered up except for one, just so he knows that they know that they're not gone. He's doing all this stuff. He's trying to figure out a way out. They discover the door, the hidden door in the kitchen or in the bathroom. And they go through there. They start to make some ways out, and they do a lot of good things. I think at the end, I think the only bad decision, aside from not leaving earlier, was that Luke was kind of dumb at the end to try to split up. Like they could have both hidden in the attic. I think.
Why is it every time people say split up? Like, not messing.
But I mean, again, he was doing what he thought he had to do to protect her at that point. So I mean, it's not even then. It's not a horrible thing. But I thought, the strangers guys made a lot of dumb decisions. Like they split up after the dude had the shotgun, and they still split up. He's like, you stay in the house, even though we know they've been in here and they're probably in here now. You stay in here without the shotgun by yourself. I'm going to go to the barn to find the radio. Like, no, you all stay together. And then Liv Tyler after that does this random ass sprint through the yard and breaks her fucking ankle. She can no longer work. She's all broken up. Like, well, I don't know
what happened. Like, because I like on this latest rewatch, I'm like, what the hell did Liv Tyler trip on air? Like, she was just as worse as freaking Sally when she freaking messed up her foot jumping out that window.
Yeah, but at least Sally jumped out the damn window. She's just like, she gets up and she's like, man, I'm going to fucking break the record for the fastest sprint in the world. And she just takes off and she just fucking trips and then breaks her ankle. And I think she was barefoot at the same time. And I don't know what she was thinking in that moment. I don't know what her goal was. I thought she'd be like, sneak over there, don't sprint. I don't know. But the fact that really, what really grinded my gears is when they split up. Because I was like, come on, dude. You have the only line of defense against these assholes. They're obviously scared of it. You almost blew them away already. You did blow away your boy. So stick together. There's no reason to make her stay in the house where the bad guys are probably at. And she has no form of protection there. And my God, let's not get started about how dumb that mofo was coming in there.
Boy.
Like, he had a cell phone. He could tell shit was hitting the fan. He should have called the cops before he even went in there.
Or just, go in the house, screaming as loud as he can, going, all right, God, why can't I not remember their characters right now? Oh, actually, no, I got it right here. That's my job with Letterboxd tonight. Well, he should have yelled for James and Kristen. Like, James, Kristen, like as loud as he can, and maybe they would have dragged them out. And like, then you got 3-on-3, and you got pretty much a fair, like probably the advantage because you 2 males, 1 girl versus 2 girls and 1 male. So like, yeah, I actually agree with you on that. Like, not a good plan.
But I will say that at least they tried to shoot the mofos with a gun as opposed to Pray at Night, where they're like,
oh my God. I am not getting into freaking Pray at Night with you tonight. I am not having that conversation with you. But sorry, I was writing down some bacon suggestions here for the Slash It Out matchups just to double check to see I've had them on there. I'll have to check tomorrow on that where I got the freaking Excel sheet and all that with all the matchups.
It's not Hatchet is not, but Hills Have Eyes is.
Yeah, the he's got the Hills Has Eyes versus Wrong Turn, which I'm going to assume is the remake. And then also Hatchet versus Wrong Turn. That would actually be a really fun matchup because I think we were trying to find a movie for Hatchet, and that would be a perfect one.
Yeah, that wouldn't be bad at all.
So Bacon,
Chris is in here. Chris is in here saying, was really hoping that the secret door in Vacancy led down to the guys from Lemon Party having another lemon party. I don't even know what the fuck you're talking about, but what else is new? I'm sure that's going to be in the next freaking Slash It wheel.
he's probably drinking Mike's Hard Lemonade, and he's like, you know what? Maybe a lemon comment will do us just fine. It's just to throw off the boys of Good Will Hunting.
Yeah, I'm sure whatever he's talking about is very valid. I just don't. I don't know. But yes, thank you guys for the matchup ideas.
Oh, dude, absolutely. And we always want to hear those Slash It Out ideas. So let us know in the chat, in the comment section, on our Facebook, our social media pages. We want to hear from you because we easily want to make sure we, give you the credit for those matchups. And we also actually want to do the matchups that you all suggest. So, and Chris, we are not... I forbid Crimes of the Future ever being featured on this channel. Crimes of the Future versus us just watching dog shit dry. Oh my gosh.
This just said I'm hearing that the lemon people thing is actually an old person orgy. So I think that
from X?
No, not from that.
Oh.
It's I don't know. Either way, that would have been interesting. Yeah. Yeah.
Chris, sorry. Yes, we're not Googling right now. We're doing Slash It Out right now. And then Gory Tiger says The Lost Boys versus 30 Days of Night. Let me write that down real quick. And then
just made the list.
God, okay. You know what? I'm just going to make this a lot simpler on my end real quick versus just writing it down because y'all are just going crazy right now, which is awesome. Brad, can you hide that comment real quick?
Yeah, sorry.
That's okay. Sorry. Actually, no, that was actually my fault. You didn't need to do that at all. Okay, picture taken. So I'll be sure to check on all those. So, Brad, anything else with Vacancy?
No, that's it, man.
All right, man. So let's get down to our last big category before we do our thoughts and ratings. Let me click on it. What The Strangers does better. So what do you think The Strangers did better than Vacancy? And as Captain America says, I could do this all day because I'm going to go ahead and let you guys know now. I easily prefer this movie over Vacancy because The Strangers is really damn solid, man. And the first thing I just want to allude back to earlier when I was talking about the Vacancy feelings being more entertaining. these trio, freaking the Man in the Mask, Dollface, and Pinup Girl, they were easily the best like serious villains. Just because with the way they were handled, like with the lighting and the shadows, and just how smart these villains are, like even they had good torturing like ideas too, messing with Kristen and James in The Stranger. So I give the serious villains award to this particular trio in The Strangers.
Yeah, that's kind of the same, similar to last week. Even I think the Vacancy, I think, is more fun to watch. It's more fast paced. It's more a good time. I think The Strangers is scarier, especially on first watch. Again, I think first watch is brilliant because you don't know exactly what's going to happen. You don't know, that these guys are in the house when they are. You don't know whenever the dude comes out in the background later in the movie, sack in the back, if you will. That shit will take your breath away. It's awesome. It's really well done. I think, again, another part of being scary of this movie is just more relatable. Everybody's kind of been in an unfamiliar house, maybe even a little desolate house in the middle of nowhere, and you don't know, what's going to go on. And then, just thinking about being in that position and hearing that knock at the door, I think everybody can put themselves in those shoes pretty easily, as opposed to the kind of more ridiculous, elaborate setup in Vacancy. So I think that they do a good job with that. They do a lot of good stuff with music and sound in this movie, the door knocks and the record player specifically, some creepy stuff in there. And like you said, I think the villains are much better. The killers, they're relentless, they're scary, they're playing with these guys, they're having a good time, and they're not going to turn away, not even when you have a shotgun shot at their head. So I think, you have that going for them. They got strength in numbers, and they know what they're doing, man. They're smart killers. They really are. Doesn't help that the people they're killing aren't very smart, but that's okay. I think it's good stuff, and just that ending is brutal when they're all tied up. We have this whole cat and mouse thing going on for a long time, and at the end, our protagonists are tied up in the living room, completely helpless, no way they can get out. The guys start unmasking at the end, the killers do, and at that point, they're fucked, because you don't unmask, because they, unless you're going to kill somebody. They unmask, and they fucking they proceed to murk our people there. I thought that ending was relentless, and I think the ending in this movie is better than the ending in Vacancy by far. I think it's really good. The bad guys
absolutely.
win. Yeah.
And that's actually something I was going to harp on with Vacancy real quick, is that ending. It just happened. Like, cause like even like when Kate shot freaking Mason, and then went to go check on her husband, and then when she discovered the husband was alive, that is when the movie should have ended. And then for some reason, I'm not sure why, we get like 2 or 3 minutes of her running around doing shit, and then it decided to end. And I thought that was totally random. And I wish they would have cut out those 2 or 3 minutes of that ending.
Yeah, the main like showdown with Mason, or whatever his name, like that was like, Mason was really good at being creepy early in the movie, but when it finally came time to have a showdown with him, I thought that was kind of lackluster. And whatnot. The way this Strangers movie ended, though, was just such a visceral freaking, like, oh god, man, what did I just watch? And another thing it does good, it shows this outcome at the beginning of the movie. It shows the two people, Jehovah's Witness guys, rolling up and walking into the 911 call and all that, kind of like X does, this big bloody mess, and we're trying to figure out how we got to that point through the rest of the movie. So I really appreciated that.
Oh no, dude, absolutely. I actually like when movies freaking do that, like seeing chaos and like, how'd that happen? Then they explain it in the full detail of each shot you see at the beginning, and then they recap it at the end. So yeah, absolutely awesome. And another note I had down too, the villains won in The Strangers. And I love when horror movies have the balls sometimes to let the villain win, because we don't see that often. And just to see it in The Strangers, and it actually makes sense for them to win, like, bravo. That's all I gotta say with The Strangers. Bravo on that.
Yeah, I love that about the movie. And that's a big reason why I even prefer this movie over Pray at Night, is because I'm sorry, Birdie, I just had to say it. But it is because that they make you care about these characters. They have arcs in the movie together in their relationship. They bond over time. They're stronger at the end. Their bond is stronger at the end than it was at the beginning. But yet they still lose. Whereas Strangers Pray at Night, I know this isn't a comparison to that. Those movies, those characters were fucking idiots, and they still found a way to beat these guys, which freaking grinds my gears because I thought these guys were way smarter. They still ended up losing at the end. They got fucking murked, and I just it's awesome to see that these guys again they didn't make all the right decisions, but they did better than a lot of movies, and they still got fucking tied up and murked at the end.
Yeah, and dude, and just like seeing that, them getting slowly stabbed, very
Yeah.
very, very damn disturbing. And another note I have on here too is they just like this particular movie and The Strangers kept to one tone the entire damn movie. So like there wasn't really any comedic moments like the brief and all that. It was just that very tense atmosphere from beginning to end, where it makes you uncomfortable from beginning to end. And I actually really like that. That's to me, that's kind of refreshing.
Yeah, the tone was really good. It was just a kind of a just the vibe you get from the opening when we're trying to learn about these characters is just very uncomfortable and unsettling, and it continues throughout. Really dark, really dark.
And I'll just go ahead and go with my last two notes real quick. I love the house setting better than the motel setting, just
Yeah, I do
because in
too.
this particular house, it's freaking James's family's summer house. So like they actually knew their way around the house. If the strangers come and like you think you're safe in your own house, but the strangers do a complete 180, like you're not safe. We're gonna freaking just torture the hell out of you and just make you all miserable. And just to do that into your own house and your own place of comfortability, dude, that's freaking scary more than anything. Like to me, that's more scary than an unknown motel room.
Yeah, it is for sure, man. I concur. I think it is. And just to kind of harp on again, kind of the end. When they ask, they're tied up and they're like, "Hey, why are you guys doing this?" Because you were home. Like that lack of motive is creepy in and of itself. What did I just say? In and of itself. And I've always appreciated that. And that's what I like about Michael Myers in the first Halloween movie. There's just no motive, and that's these guys were very similar in that regard. And then they're talking to the people outside. They're like, oh, because they get the flyer from the Jehovah's people, and they're like, oh, it'll be easier next time. Like I love that ending with them driving off, ready for the next mission.
Yeah, because that was so creepy because we didn't know like what they were going to do with the Mormon kids, just really uncomfortable stuff. And then the last note I had, because I talked with Luke Wilson being the best male lead, I'm giving the female lead to Liv Tyler in this movie. In my opinion, like Kate was great too, but I feel like Liv, in this particular environment and with the character that she was given, I feel like she had more to do in this movie and just got a chance to show more emotion in this movie. And kind of like what Gory Tiger says, it's more emotional when the bad guy wins. And just Liv Tyler just sharing and showing that emotion as an actress to make that scene work. That is why I reward Liv Tyler with the character right there.
Oh yeah, she was good, and she had a lot more to do. I think. I think Vacancy was a little bit more balanced between the two characters. Liv Tyler had that whole sequence in the movie where she was alone and was trying to get around and just do normal shit, but the guys were in there kind of fucking with her and stuff, and she did a lot of that. She was definitely the standout in the movie as opposed to Mr. Speedwagon or whatever his name was.
James in the movie, but Scott Speedman.
Yeah, that's the one.
Absolutely. And do you have anything else with what the strangers did better?
No.
Alrighty. So let's freaking just we're towards the we're at the ass end of our last category is overall thoughts and our movie ratings. So Brad, do you want to freaking go first on your overall thoughts on both movies and the ratings for both movies?
Yeah, honestly, I think once it's kind of set it in, after these rewatches, I think I'll give both these movies a 4. At the end of the day, I think they're pretty even in that regard. I think again, Strangers was a much superior movie first time watch. Again, it's never gonna like that movie freaked me the fuck out the first time I watched it, for sure, because of how relatable it was. It was really the first. I'm not gonna say it was the first home invasion movie because that's definitely not true, but it definitely set the stage for a lot of movies that came after it at the same time. It's kind of a new age home invasion movie that set the stage for a lot of things after it. and it was really strong in that regard. Dug the introduction of these new killers. I thought they became pretty iconic after this movie. Vacancy, I think, is just a really good time. I think the characters are good. I think it moves very fast. It's endlessly rewatchable because it's so short. Both of these movies are, and it just chips away so quickly that I really enjoy watching it. So I give them both the 4. I think objectively, if you were to take both movies and whatnot, I would pick The Strangers, but I'm going to pick Vacancy here just because I'm going to rewatch this movie way more than I am The Strangers, just because it's such an easy watch and just more enjoyable to get through. So overall, I'm going to go with Vacancy.
Yeah, just because of that rewatch value. Like I totally understand that. And that's just a great point. With Vacancy, it is a damn fun ride. It is very entertaining while also being uncomfortable as well. But for Vacancy, I gave it a 3.75 out of 5. Letterboxd, I gave it a 3.5, but it's a 3.75 to me, very close to the 4. Just to me, I wish it could be a little bit longer because I wanted to see more. The third act, right after the 2 goons get killed off, and it's just Mason versus Kate's character. I feel like I wish we had more of like their interactions with that than we gotten. But other than that, I still had a good time. Kate and Luke did a great job with their characters. I thought they were super entertaining, especially Mason and Frank Whaley. Dude, his charisma really awesome and enjoyable to watch. So Vacancy, a 3.75 out of 5. The Strangers, first time I watched this movie, damn, I was so uncomfortable with the tone and atmosphere. And this movie did indeed scare me. Just again, just a simple knock, man, just freaking just sets chills down your spine. And that is just what this Strangers movie just so amazing. Just freaking just creates just that tense atmosphere, not knowing what's going to happen. But I do agree with you. Rewatch value, it's not really strong with The Stranger since that after the first watch, you kind of know what everything's going on. You're just pretty much looking for details at that point. And but I do enjoy Scott Speedman and Liv Tyler, especially Liv Tyler in this movie. And of course, like you said, we created a brand new horror icons with the trio of the Man in the Mask, Pinup Girl, and Dollface. Because trust me, you just click on those 3 names on Instagram or any social media, you will see freaking people cosplay the hell out of those. Even our good friend Destiny did cosplay on those 3 iconic figures in The Strangers too, if you want to check that out on our Instagram. But at the end of the day, I easily prefer The Strangers more than Vacancy. On my Letterboxd, it's a 4 out of 5, but to me, it is a 4.25 out of 5 for The Strangers.
Hell yeah.
Woo, yeah, buddy. So that is we're gonna get ready to wrap things up. Oh, actually, no, not yet, because we gotta freaking check on that poll, my friend.
Check the poll, get it added to the wheel. While you're doing that, I'll go over kind of what we have coming up.
Oh, please do that, and I will go ahead and tell you what won, because when you mentioned that last matchup, I knew immediately it was going to win. So it's a Nightmare on Elm Street versus Scream.
Hell yeah, man, that'll be hella fun.
All right, so tell them what's coming up on Good Will Hunting, where I have saved on there on the overlays.
Okay, and Chris came in here. He said his Vacancy for him. Hell yeah, my man.
Ooh.
Vacancy getting some love. I love it. Okay, so here we go, guys. Tonight was a lot of fun. Next week, there's no Slash It Out. So whatever we spend, it's probably going to be 2 weeks. Maybe, I don't know. We'll have to figure it out. But next week, we do have a live show. We're going to be tearing it up for the very first time. And we're going to be doing so with the Friday the 13th franchise. We're going to be having a good time here. It's been a while since we did the review series and ranked them, but this next week we're going to be tearing them up, and we're going to be doing it live. All 3 of us, ideally, I think is the plan, and we're going to be, averaging our tiers and putting them where they need to be, respectively. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. At the end of this month, we're going to have the freaking 666 subscriber Horror Trivia celebration, the Final Ghouls versus Flopbuster. That's going to be a lot of fun. That's going to be live on the last Monday of the month, if I'm not mistaken, Birdie.
Yes, June 27th at 7 o'clock.
We're really looking forward to that. It's going to be a lot of fun. We have a special Slash It Out plan for next month, but we'll get into that later once we get everything kind of confirmed and whatnot. So that'll be coming up. It's going to be a lot of fun, and it's probably going to be set the stage for the Howl of Scream review series, which we mentioned earlier, coming in July. We're going to be reviewing the Halloween franchise with our lovely friends on this page. Everybody here is going to be doing the same thing on their channels. So check out those channels for sure. They're all lovely people. They're all doing entertaining shit. They're all having good times, and we're all going to have a good time together starting July 24th, 25th.
The 25th. And so it'll be every Monday starting July the 25th, leading up to Halloween ends.
And then we're going to rank it at that point. That's every Monday, according to Dr. Chalice. And
yes,
yeah, man, that's pretty much it that you guys need to know about right here. Of course, Rotten Reactions we have coming out.
Yeah, and we do got Rotten Reaction over the weekend.
Yep, we have that. It's going to be awesome. We're looking forward to it. We have some good episodes of Rotten Reactions coming out. You guys are going to really enjoy.
Oh, yeah, because it's just to give you your hint on the weekend one, sometimes dead is better.
Butter.
No, not but. What do you even do? Okay, you know what? Sometimes I can't even believe it's better. But Brad, since freaking Chris is not here to tell me when to spin this wheel, I'm going to give that privilege to you, my friend. So you let me know when to hit the button to spin the wheel.
5, 0, 3, 2. Spin that bitch. Oh, spin it. Oh, here we go. Hopefully, Chris. If it's one of Chris's, spin again.
Oh! Yeah!
That's a good one, man. I was thinking about that one for damn.
I know we literally.
Yeah, we were just talking about it.
Dude, that's actually quite scary because we did mention this fucking matchup today.
That's gonna be hella fun, dude. I can't wait for that one.
Oh yeah, so let me go ahead and hit remove. So the next time we do slash it out, it is going to be Crawl versus the Shallows. Dude, that matchup is going to get crazy.
Legendary. Again, look for probably about a 2-week turnaround, so you guys have some time to watch those.
Every now and then I get a little bit lonely.
Turn around. But anyway, that's going to be awesome. I'm really looking forward to that.
Dude, absolutely. Like Brad says, 2 or 3 weeks time. Be sure to follow our social medias. Brad, speaking of following our social medias, where can they find us?
You can find us on Facebook, Instagram, Letterboxd, and Twitter. Of course, both of us have our own TikTok accounts too. Those links are for you to find down below, and we're having good times.
Yeah, absolutely. Because Brad does the fun trivia for horror trivia or just movie trivia and all. I always have a good time trying to figure out what freaking movies he's doing for his particular TikTok videos. And then for me, I'm doing out of theater reactions, and I am soon. I'm still trying to figure out a good plan. I'm going to be doing horror news. And while also horror facts, since Brad's doing the trivia stuff, I'm going to do the horror facts, like maybe some did you knows that you probably don't know about. Bless you.
You're welcome, Steve.
Yeah. So yeah, that's what we got on our freaking TikTok. So again, descriptions down below. And of course, we always want to hear from you guys of what you think about the Strangers and Vacancy. Which one do you prefer? And be sure to follow go to the Facebook group or our YouTube community tab, because tomorrow around noon I will post that poll so you all can decide who won this particular matchup tonight. And we also want to hear feedback as well. Let us know in that comment section down below so we can always get that discussion rolling. And if you want to continue help us find the good reels, be sure to like this video. God, it's so different doing this stream wise versus pre-recording, you know?
Yes, it is.
Okay, but I remember my line. Be sure to like this video, share, and subscribe. Of course, ring that bell, ding, 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 so you all know what the next slash it out and all amazing other content is up and ready. And want to get this last comment before we head on out here, because it's our good friend Mia. So I want to be sure her comment gets read here. Haven't seen
Said it first.
Vacancy, but The Strangers was okay for me, a little boring for me, and I could see that. But Mia, definitely watch Vacancy. I think you will have a better time with that one than The Strangers.
Yeah, check it out for sure. I just was actually typing that out whenever Brett pulled the comment up. I think they're very comparable, but I think Vacancy is more fun. I think Strangers is definitely a slower movie. Vacancy, I think, is paced really well. A lot of good times. Check it out for sure.
Yo, dude, absolutely freaking. So, guys, we're gonna call it a freaking night. We are very well spent, more spent than Austin Powers after he ran out of mojo. So,
That's not my bag, baby.
well, this book says it is indeed your bag, baby, signed by writer Austin Powers. Nah, I'm just messing. I'm tossing the book out here. But guys, we are out here. We appreciate everybody hanging out in the chat with us, and we will see you for the Shallowest End to Crawl 2 or 3 weeks time. We don't really know, but we'll be sure to damn do it. So we'll see you next time.
Yes, we will. Don't answer that door after midnight.
It's Bert home?
No.
Fine.